Hero Film Corp presents Young Turks, 14 years.
A week ago, the government organized a massive event in the capital to announce the Startup India Action Plan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the star and he made several key announcements, including compliance regime based on self-certification, a tax exemption on capital gains for startups, but there again the devil lies in the detail, tax exemption for startups for the first 3 years, and a 10,000 crore rupee fund of funds, among many others. While the government's ambitious plan has received a lot of bouquets and a few brickbats, most industry bodies are awaiting the Union Budget 2016 to reveal the fine print.
To discuss what this really means on the ground, I'm joined by entrepreneur, investor and the chairman of Manipal Global Education, Mohandas Pai, and Sharma of software product think tank iSPIRT. Both these gentlemen have been in consultation with the government over the last several months to try and make sense of India's startup policy and the road ahead. Gentlemen, appreciate you joining us here on the show. Mohandas Pai, let me start by asking you, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of confidence being witnessed at the Startup India event, the Prime Minister making several big ticket announcements. But if I were to ask you, materially, what really has changed? What do you, on the face of it, make of those announcements? Because the fine print is still awaited, and as we know, the devil often is in the detail.
Shereen, to me, the biggest takeaway and most significant event has been the Prime Minister, Finance Minister, Commerce Minister, all the secretaries coming on stage and saying unequivocally, we are going to support you, we want you to stay here, we want to make life easier for you, and we will work with you to make it happen. I think they're extremely significant because we have not had such a galaxy of people who decide matters in India, come on a common stage, meet people and announce that. I think that's fantastic. They understand what startups can do for India, how they can transform for India and become the largest source of white-collar jobs over the next 10 years. I think that's very good. Yes, they made many announcements. Some of them we have to wait and see what the notifications are. And usually when grand announcements are made, the notifications take away much of what has been said. So I think we need to have some patience to work on it. But the good news is, the government has been in engagement with the industry. We have met them several times and they've been very open and they asked us to give suggestions. So we'll wait for some time and see.
Well, let's hope that when the notification is put out by the government, we don't see disappointment. But Mohan, let me ask you specifics now. Let me start by getting you to comment on the startup definition. Is it going to complicate matters further? Are we likely to tie ourselves up in all kinds of knots? Who is innovative? What is innovative? Who decides what's innovative? Is this a recipe for more confusion?
No, we have tied ourselves in knots because I read the definition. It's a very unhappy compromise because the government is apprehensive that all kind of companies will come. You know that there are a set of people in this country who manufacture companies and come and misuse things. They're scared that will be done because all the departments have started not agreeing unless there's a robust mechanism to give the benefits. So they come with a definition. It's an unhappy compromise. There will be a board, inter-ministerial board or something like that, which is going to define what is innovation. And for that you need a certification. But I think, we must give them some time to settle down and ease it out because they're new to the game and they'll find out. Every year if you have 5,000 or 6,000 startups, small companies coming, I think it's going to be a lot of work for the inter-ministerial board. But I think, we know it is unhappy, so let's wait and give them some time.
Okay, Sharad, let me put that same question to you. Mohandas Pai there saying that the startup definition is an unhappy compromise. A, would you agree? And what can be done by the government? Because this is really the start of this process. But what can be done then to improve upon it? And are you hopeful of being able to improve upon it?
Oh, indeed, it is an unhappy compromise. But I think this is a good way to kind of resolve the stalemate that we have with the government right now and move forward and then kind of improve the definition as we go along. The stalemate is that many of the things that they are doing for startups create loopholes for other companies to exploit, and they want to make sure that doesn't happen, and this is one way to resolve this. And it's an imperfect solution, but sometimes that's the only way to move forward initially and then improve on it as we go along.
But Sharad, just to take that point forward, very often the government takes a long time before we can actually see any changes, or as you call them, improvements being made for policy. Given that fact, are we likely to be stuck with this definition for a long time now?
No, there are all of us, the interesting thing is that, look, we've created a new class of stars in India, and rightfully so. The government has acknowledged that. So we have Bollywood stars, we have cricket stars, and now we have entrepreneur stars. And the entrepreneur stars are very vocal. They are less restrained than the other two types of stars in expressing their angst. And I think as that happens, this would be a forcing function for correction to happen inside the government. And I think, some of the things I think will also improve. Part of the problem that the government has is that they're dealing with very archaic frameworks on both sides, right? On the RBI side with FEMA, which, as Dr. Rajan has been on record saying that's a broken framework, needs to be replaced, and a replacement for FEMA is in the works. And once that happens, many of these issues will go away. And on the tax side, we have a very broken system again, which is again, hopefully when GST comes, a lot of that will get cleaned up. So I think we have a pathway as we look ahead. It's a rocky road for now, but we have a pathway as these new frameworks start coming in. Resolving things under those new frameworks will be a lot simpler than the band-aids that we are trying to put under the existing frameworks. And so I am cautiously optimistic and hopeful that we can make things better, and of course, as you pointed out, the government has to have an intent to make them better, and I think they do have the intent. It is obvious that they have that intent right now. We don't need softs, we don't need incentives. We need to resolve the hygiene factors that are there, and those are those 34 hygiene factors, that are part of the Stay in India checklist.
Hero FinCorp presents Young Turks 40 Years.